investigation into Kevin Krebs. As you know, the defendant was arrested on June 14th, 2025, walking up to a national No Kings rally or protest in Westchester, really just 2 blocks away from this courthouse. He was charged with carrying a concealed firearm without a license. Then, on June 16th, he was charged with the possession of 13 improvised explosive devices, or IEDs, after they were discovered as part of a search warrant at his home. I'm obligated to remind everyone that the defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty in both of these cases. We continue to investigate whether this entire incident amounted to a thwarted act of domestic terrorism, but in the end, we have a ton of work to do before we can make that determination. But one thing is absolutely clear. The work of Chester County law enforcement prevented an incredibly dangerous situation from unfolding at the No Kings rally in Westchester that Saturday. I want to start by talking more about June 14th. As thousands of people came together to exercise their constitutional rights to assemble and to protest, police were alerted to a man with a gun by a private citizen. Westchester Police Department patrol officers and Chester County sheriffs approached the defendant. He was dressed in multiple layers of clothing. The defendant was immediately cooperative with the Westchester police officer that interacted with him. He identified that he had a handgun in the holster underneath a layer of clothing near his abdomen, and he actually allowed that officer to remove it herself. He had 2 additional magazine cartridges for that gun on his person. He claimed to have a permit to carry a concealed firearm, but in fact did not have one issued to him. On a separate jacket, the defendant also had 6 clips of ammunition on him for a rifle. That rifle had been left behind in his car. The Westchester Police Department quickly called the FBI, and together they interviewed the defendant and members of the defendant's family. Family has reported to law enforcement that the defendant is on the autism spectrum. The defendant explained to Westchester Police and the FBI that he planned to peacefully protest and brought the gun because he wanted to remain safe. He was charged that evening with possession of a concealed firearm without a license. In Pennsylvania, that's a misdemeanor in the 1st degree. And he was remanded on $250,000 bail at the time. So after hearing that, these facts and some others that were developed over the next few hours, my office partnered with the Westchester Police Department to execute a search warrant at the defendant's home on the 16th. While searching for firearms and other evidence of the defendant's intent, law enforcement found what appeared to be a pipe bomb, which is a type of IED. The Montgomery County Bomb Squad was called out and in the end located 13 of them. Those IEDs were turned over to the FBI and they continue to be examined. Inside the home, police found another firearm, a homemade silencer, a 3D printer, what appears to be 2 3D printed machine gun conversion devices, sometimes called switches or selectors, that could turn some of the rifles and handguns into fully automatic firearms. As part of the investigation, law enforcement also seized a number of electronics, including a cell phone, computers, and a computer server. In total, we have obtained 21 firearms that belong to the defendant. Since last week, this team has spent time coordinating and sharing information with a variety of law enforcement agencies, including Capitol Police, the ATF, and the U.S. Attorney's Office of Philadelphia. We've conducted interviews, reviewed available social media posts, and submitted legal process to search other types of media. We've reviewed the defendant's employment records, worked to ensure the defendant did not have access to other areas where he could have been making more IEDs. And we've learned a few things so far, but certainly there's a lot more data for us to review. But currently I can say we have not located any sort of manifesto or pre-written plan to commit an act of terrorism at the No Kings protest or at any other location. This arrest happened the same day as lawmakers in Minnesota were assassinated. And I want to be clear, right, that this has no connection, that is a coincidence. We have nothing to see that any of this could have been connected as we all look back on that horrific case. But that said, we are still looking to gain as much insight.
U.S. troops in the region, they have been moving from several bases, repositioning under the first under this administration, as the security posture has really changed. We also have numerous assets in the region as well. And if you'll remember, as we've been in this buildup of towards these strikes towards Iran, we have moved aircraft carriers into the region. I believe it's now 3 major aircraft carriers that are in the region patrolling and waiting to protect U.S. forces. So we do have a significant posture there, but it does appear that those counterattacks are underway right now.